The GTX, and hopefully this sound on this video is a little better, because I basically start doing this stuff around about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and I just press the record button and go. The GTX, what I've done so far is pretty much got all the trim painted on, especially the sides there, trim on the side of the hood, the top here, and across the side here. I did that on both sides, so we are good to go on it. Went in and took a very sharp number 11 and basically pierced it. Instead of pulling it back off and adding a new, I did slices on there, and I basically rubbed it in, and that's as if you see any air bubbles, that's the flattest I can get it, and I can't get it down any flatter than that. So it's just going to have to be like that. But anyway, got the trim on. Went in with some Tamiya Clear red on the back, Tamiya Clear orange on the front. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add I got basically one coat. I'm going to put one more coat on here, square it up, and then I'll probably put a dab of Future, which I'm going to spray Future on it, because there's a couple decals I got to put on it, and the body needs to be shiny, and some of this needs to be matte black, and then basically a semi-gloss on top here. But I want to put a couple drops of Future on there, and I should be ready to basically assemble everything. And of course I got to add the two little mirrors that go on there, but we should be good to go for the next phase of assembly of the GTX. So I'm going to plug a little more on that, and hopefully I should have some more done on next day or so. So anyway, that's the GTX. The MBT, I pretty much got it primered. I had to go back in and sand a little bit. I missed the spot when the couple rounds of sanding there. I just got to sand that down just a tad bit right there, and just a little bit more there, and should be pretty good. And just needs a couple basically heavy coats of primer, and I'll be ready to continue on after that, which I'm probably after I get it sanded, I want to get the little brackets that go on the engine there, which what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to probably end up skipping that, and I'll put that on later. I'm actually going to get the main wing on like so, and then work on the bomber itself. Actually has another set of landing gears, which I'm going to probably put that on, and then work my way up is what I'm planning on doing. So I got to thinking about that when I was sanding the fuselage. The Death Star, I have to say, this is from the Milton Bradley game, and I highly recommend getting it's like a planetarium. I recommend getting it, because if you really look at the surface detail on it, that's actually fairly accurate to the studio model, because it's got so many light pin pricks. It actually represents it really well on the Milton Bradley toy here. I'm going to have to get me one. I think that's just of course, always want bigger, but that's a real nice size, and actually the detail on it's extremely crisp on it. Did get the I did start, well, if I could hold it, I did get it started masked, and basically just I'm masking everything, but not everything, if that makes sense. What I want to do is all the stuff that needs to be the gray color is basically being masked here, and I'm just doing a little bit at a time. And I've learned a long time ago, just like wherever I got them at, decals here, just like decals, masking, I just do a little bit each day, and a little bit each day, and before you know it, you'll have it all masked off, and just like decal. This way you don't get burnt out, because there's times where you really want to mask everything, and then you just you get just burnt out from masking it. But anyway, I still got little squares here to do and little stuff, and I'm just working my way around. And then what I want to do is I'm not going to mask off every panel. I'm basically going to do it like a block, like right here, for example. And what I'm going to do is take an airbrush and do a very low setting and just airbrush the panels in. That way I don't have to mask completely everything, every panel, and that way it'll keep it cleaner panel lines, and it'll be more and I can have a little more variation of just a couple panels, just to give it a little bit of character. But anyway, a little more, it'll be boring on this one for a while, because I'll be taping until we can finally paint, which I haven't figured out which gray I want. I gotta go look at the pictures again and see which kind of gray there is. But anyway, that's where I stand on Mr. Death Star. The Crazy Horse, what I was planning on doing was I was going to paint it all black, which I got most of it painted black, and then I was going to mask off the little intercooler things, the little grill here, and then go ahead and paint it, put the base coat on. Well, anyway, I decided, well, I've been trying to light block it, and I finally got it light blocked, but I went ahead and primered everything. And so it's basically got one light coated primer on the top. Just got to finish doing the bottom, and I need to mask off the deflector dish and a little bit more there. But primer duty is just about almost done with it. I'm going to do one more coat later today, and I'll be able to probably lay down some paint. Went ahead and masked off the lights with just very little deals of tape, no biggie, and hopefully. I think what I want to do is I may pre-shade it, may not. I haven't really decided. I'm not going to make it dirty, just kind of give it depth, because a lot of it you got to mask off because it's got a lot of blues and blue grays. But the decals, the Aztec decals, should make it pop. But anyway, that's where I'm on that. So hopefully I can get the duck egg blue on. If not, day or two, at least by next week, I can get at least get the primer on this weekend, and then I can start getting the paint, because then we can clean off the bench and start doing decals, because we're gonna have a lot of decal paper when we start decaling it. But anyway, Crazy Horse is taking shape. But anyway, that is what I've got going on today. I should have a shed update. I may do a little something different too. Haven't really decided what I want to do yet, but anyway, definitely a shed update, and of course the normal updates on the workbench. But anyway, that's what I've got going. We are continuing to mask the Death Star primer duty on the Crazy Horse, and we are doing some trim and some little painting on the GTX. So that's what I got going on today, so stay tuned for the next exciting episode.